If you've been on Netflix in the past month, or even on the internet, you have heard about the shocking true crime series Joe Exotic and the Tiger King. Tiger King tells the story of the rise and fall of Joseph Schriebvogel, aka Joe Exotic, the charismatic superstar of an exotic animal park in Oklahoma. But if you know anything about Joe Exotic, you know that he has much more than just a big cat owner. Joe was obsessed with self-promotion, positioning himself as just as much of an attraction as the close encounters with the lions and tigers offered by his park. It was apparent that Joe's lifelong mission was to obtain a celebrity status on the internet, and he has undoubtedly achieved this through his Netflix series. But what didn't they tell you about Joe Exotic's life? It's easy to believe everything that's put in front of your eyes is an accurate representation of the story, but what really happened to Joe Exotic? This video will cover the 5 things Netflix refused to show you about Tiger King. Before we start, if you've ever seen the series, drop a comment and let me know, do you think Carole Baskin killed her ex-husband? Number 1. Right after the studio set on fire, Joe claimed to be dying of prostate and bone marrow cancer. Joe got on his Facebook page and told his fans. He set up a fundraiser and raised money for his expenses. One night at a Mexican restaurant, he announced that he expected his doctor to tell him he had 2 months left to live and had purchased an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle that he would use to kill Carole Baskin. He uploaded this picture as proof, but it was later learned that he just had an infection in his prostate, dehydration, and a bad outbreak of herpes. Number 2. Joe Exotic didn't really sing his songs. As shown in Tiger King, Joe Exotic started writing and making music videos for his country music songs. However, according to Tiger King co-star and Exotic's arch nemesis, Carole Baskin, those aren't the Tiger King's vocals. Joe Exotic only lip-synced to songs, and all those songs are written and performed by musicians Vince Johnson and Danny Clinton, who are based in Washington State. Johnson answered a few questions, telling Slate the duo connected with Exotic via an ad looking for someone to write a theme song for his private zoo and upcoming reality show. Johnson later discovered that Joe was taking full credit for the song after watching the music videos on YouTube. Number 3. Remember those alligators that he got set on fire? Turns out those alligators were famous. John Finley, Joe Exotic's ex-husband, said that some of the alligators at the exotic animal park came from Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. This information was hidden in production of the documentary. Was this to make Joe Exotic look good? Comment below why you think this information was left out of the series. Number 4. Another thing that was hidden in the series is that petting cats has a dark side. Directors and writer Eric Gold and Rebecca Chocklin told the LA Times that they never gave in and cuddled the baby cats, especially after what they saw. Most of the tigers we were around were subjected to abject cruelty, Chocklin said. We saw babies being torn from their mothers and screaming. They'd get sick from being handled too much and get ringworm and mange. It was disturbing. This information was obviously hidden by Joe Exotic because that was the main way he made income. Number 5. The disappearance of Carole Baskin's ex-husband is a much bigger story. In the series, viewers learned that Baskin's previous husband, Don Lewis, disappeared in 1997. Joe Exotic strongly believes that Carole Baskin killed Don and fed his remains to the cats. There is some information that definitely raises questions, such as Don's claims that Lewis tried to file an injunction against his wife and Carole threatened to physically harm him. When Carole spoke on the documentary, she shared with the Tiger King filmmakers her theory that Lewis's secretary killed him. That's an interesting angle, but one Tiger King doesn't delve into. I wonder why they didn't explore this possibility. These are 5 things that Netflix refused to show in the new Tiger King documentary. There seemed to be a light correlation between the information they decided to show. The fact that they didn't include Carole's theory about how her husband went missing raises questions. They also chose not to include information that made Joe Exotic look bad. Does this suggest that the series was set up to make Carole look guilty for murdering her husband, or do you think she actually murdered her husband? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for the video. Like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more similar content.